Hello, beautiful kindred souls, and welcome to my crafting corner. It's Key, of course. We're back with another video. We're working with the Forest Falls freebie again. We're going to be doing a page insert today that is using these large tags. This is a freebie, at least right now, through a link down in the description below. It is a limited time, so if you find this video sometime in the future, it might not be free anymore. But I pulled together, I used the digitals that we've been working with for the Forest Falls project, and I made these large tags. I don't have all of the printouts. I also made some smaller tags as well, like a series of those, and a series of large tags as well. So check that out in the description if you're interested in snatching these up. If they're no longer free, they'll be available on my Etsy shop for a nice low price for you guys, along with some other things. So we're going to be working with this. Just gonna set that off to the side. Yeah, so we're doing a page insert. Now, as I was putting this together, I kind of wrote out some instructions or some things that I'm going to be pulling together for this project. I don't know if you can read that or if it makes sense to read it, but these are sort of like my guides. There are about 20,000 things that I thought of, different sort of like iterations of this as I was working through it. So saying all that to say, there are a million different ways that you could do this. This is just one of the ways, and I'll sort of like, as I come up with them, I'll keep making videos on how to, make inserts for your projects. For your projects. So since we looked at this project last, this was all one project, one signature, but it's getting so big and I'm not even done yet. Like I haven't filled it with ephemera and stuff like that. So I decided to split it in half or split it apart. Excuse me. And we're just gonna make two different signatures. So this one is gonna be a signature. And I'm gonna actually put the page insert that I'm making now, I'm gonna mount it onto this page with the washi background here. So that's what we're doing, but yeah, so this is what it looks like now. Again, it might change as I keep going because I tend to change things as I go, sometimes if needed. And then there's this signature, which I added a couple of additional pages to it because it didn't work out to be exactly like a half and half split. I'm going to do a different center spread in here, and hopefully I get that on camera. I'm planning to record that as well, so just to give you some more ideas. Okay, so we are going to, the intent for this project is to predominantly just use this page of digitals. I very well will probably pull out some scraps, some leftover bits from previous projects that I just kind of have here, pieces like this. Maybe pull together some things for that from this little scrap bin. I have some scrap pieces in here as well. So just to kind of let you know the material palette that I'm going to be predominantly working with. All right, so we're going to do a one-page insert that is intended to be fully mounted down. So there are alternatives that you could do to this where you have like storage behind the spot where you're mounting it down and all these other sorts of things. But we're going to just mount it straight down to the page. Also, I want to be able to tie it closed. So I'm going to use some cheesecloth to do that. You can use really anything, ribbon, fabric, cheesecloth like I'm doing or something else, I'm just going to rip off, if you can see this. I don't actually know how this is gonna, okay, that worked okay. Toss that over there for a second. All right, we know I'm gonna be mounting on brown paper bag, so I have some brown paper bag handy. Okay, so what I'm thinking is that this piece right here is gonna be what is mounted to the page. So that, and I'm gonna fold these other two things back on itself and make, you know, a storage component back behind there. I'm also planning to add, so this is, I am adding this. You can obviously do it a different way, again, to keep it to the one page. Let me see if I can find, I thought I printed off another sheet of the cards. Oh, I did. It's just not in this bin. It is here. Okay. I wanted to make a pocket out of that little, let me see. That little, the card that has the bear mama and the bear baby. Thought I had one printed out. I could have sworn I saw it the other day. Well, oh, here it is. Okay. I don't really know what I was planning to do with this, but I'm just gonna use this one right here. I'm just gonna cut that out. And again, I'm cheating a little bit. But you can just stick to your page and not do what I'm gonna do here, or use scraps or whatever to cover that, that spot. Okay. Now, I am going to cut the white border. Please do watch these videos at double speed if they move too slow for you. I do that frequently. All right, just gonna cut around this so that I can get some wasn't very expert on it. It's okay because we're gonna ink around it anyway. Part of the reason why I ink is to just clean up some of the humanness inevitably. Okay, so I'm planning, this is gonna be the front of this tag insert. I'm gonna have a pocket at the bottom, and that's gonna be my little bears here. So I'm gonna, when I mount it, you'll see, I'm gonna leave some space for that. I'm gonna add some layered trace paper, excuse me, that's gonna go over this piece. Excuse me, I'll cut that down later. And then I am gonna have a little belly band or something going across this piece to store some items in. So let's just get this mounted down. Glue stick. I'm very generous with my glue stick. And that trying to act out? Okay. I'm gonna leave. Okay. Do. Okay. Just gonna cut this out. All right, I had to think for a second. Because this is gonna be mounted down, we don't need to worry about the back of this one. You should let yours dry. I'm obviously on camera, so I don't want to burn a whole bunch of daylight waiting for the glues to dry, but you should let your glue dry. Okay, I'm gonna make sure I put a little tab here. And I'm going to create, I said I was gonna have that pocket below. It's just gonna come up. Leave space for a tab. Let's go over. I'm just gonna cut out the rest of it. Okay. There's of course other ways that you could do that, but this is just how I'm gonna do it. Now there's gonna be, let's see, like I said, let it dry before folding and stuff like that. Right, just a line, crease. Now that's gonna be creased the other direction because it's gonna be mounted down that way, this way. All right. Now I'm just folding it this direction. Okay, so that's how it's gonna be. And this, of course, is gonna be folded back so you can get like full use of that of the pocket. We're gonna create a little tab. So our tab is gonna keep it closed and you'll be able to insert something here. All right. Then we're gonna have our little pocket that comes up this way. Of course, it has tabs. It's not gonna be this tall. Where's my little, there it is. So this is just gonna be mounted on. And then I'll just trim the additional trim the additional brown paper bag. Okay. Make it like that. Okay. So we're just gonna do it like this. And I'm gonna put this under. just gonna trim. And it's gonna go up like that. It's gonna form a little pocket. Go ahead and cut this piece. Now we've got it, right? So that we are gonna mount this down, and then this is gonna be a pocket. Aw, should have left the bottom tab. Okay, next time, leave a bottom tab here. If you want the full height, it's not gonna be a big deal. Just put a little bit of glue down here and you'll have to trim. If you put another large tag in here, you just have to trim it a little bit. No, it's not the end of the world. All right, and while we're sort of waiting for this to set, I might just trim, and by might I mean I'm just going to. So if you mount your image down and let it set, like let the glue dry, then you'll have a little bit of image that rounds the corner, which is nice, but I'm not letting it dry because I'm gonna keep moving for sake of our video. Okay. I'm just gonna trim just the paper, not trying to damage our tab, okay? I'm just gonna do some inking while we're sort of allowing things to finish setting. There's my ink around the edges. This is Vintage Photo, by the way. Okay, do that there. Top. And that just gets rid of any like, you know, like when you cut around it, if there's any white space that's left behind. So that's that. I'm gonna go ahead and just glue these little tabs. Okay. Glue there, tabs. All right, and go. And we're also gonna glue this tab as well. We're gonna put glue on our tab, and then we're gonna run a bead of glue along the bottom as well. I'm using my 3-in-1 glue. Bead along the bottom. And just smoothing it down using the paper towel just in case glue seeps out. And the paper towel will sort of catch that and just try to keep it nice and clean. So remember, this part is going to be mounted down to the page. And we're going to want our little closure bit. I want it to be able to tie. You can, the thing I like about cheesecloth is that if you're going for like a shabby, rustic look, you can fray the edges and stuff like that. Makes it look really nice. So I'm just gonna run a bead of glue down the back and the middle. And remember, this one is gonna get mounted straight to the page. So if you're planning on making a pocket behind it, you're going to wanna like put tape or something over your fabric because so it doesn't get caught on, you know, whatever you're putting behind it. So just know that you can do it different. There's just an extra little step in there for you. Trying to keep these even, or as even as you can. I'm just gonna, when you rip the cheesecloth, it sort of curls it, which makes it a little bit more of a challenge to work with, but it's okay because we'll figure it out. We'll work it out. Okay. And then, yeah, so it'll be mounted down to the page like this. It'll open up. We'll add our little trace. Let me get my roll of trace. Where is my roll of trace? Is the question. I don't really recall. Here it is. Well, this is a little roll. We can use a little roll. So we're just gonna like so I'm sort of just, yeah, it's actually pretty solid. And it's gonna go all the way up here, and I'll trim the edges and stuff like that, trim the bottom. But this is about the size, and that is about 3 1/4 inches. You can use that measure. 1, 2, 3 1/4. Something like that. You can obviously put as many of these as you want. 1, 2, 3 1/4. I think 3 is fine for our case, just to sort of show you. All right. So my plan was just to, you know, run a little bead of glue, glue it down, bead of glue, glue it down, bead of glue, that sort of thing. So I'm just going to line these dudes up. This isn't going to be perfect, but it'll be sufficient. That should give us plenty. Yep. Okay, and then I'm going to also cut a little bit off the bottom as well. You can rip them out, and then you'll get more of that rustic, raw, sort of jaggedy edges. For sake of time, I'm actually not doing that because that's going to take longer to rip around every single one. You can ink as well, which is obviously harder to do. But if you want to sort of grunge it up, ink around it. You can coffee dye the pages. You can stencil. You can stamp. I mean, there's just so much that you could do to these little pages before you insert them, or even after you insert them. Totally up to you. I think I'm gonna do some stamping after I get it in there, just around the edges, just to give it a little bit more, you know, something. I don't know. Okay. I'm just gonna run my little bead of glue across. Actually, probably more glue than I need for one. You can also use glue stick because trace paper is very thin. I'm wondering if it wants to be this direction instead. No, this is gonna be a little different. I'm okay with that. Doesn't need much. Which one's a little different? Which is okay as long as it fits. There you go. Oops, was I too aggressive? Yes. You'll want these things to be able to dry, of course. Okay. Oop. All right. Ouch. And then I just think I want to add a little belly band on this side. So I'm going to cut, you know, I'm not going to put the belly band right up to the crease. I'm going to leave a little bit of space, maybe 1/16 of an inch, 1/8 of an inch, something like that. And then I'm going to go a little bit further out because we're going to make little tabs on each side so we can get as much usage as we possibly can. And I'll angle that in a second. Just trying to get an idea of where to crease the other side. It's just a little belly band right here. I think that'll look nice. So I'm just gonna like angle these edges so they don't pop out the side after it's mounted down. Because I'm using my brown paper bag and it's painted, I'm gonna use my 301 glue. A little glue on my tabs. There you go. Of course, it's gonna need to dry. I tend to lose tops and stuff because it gets a little crazy up in here. I'm trying to get some things put together. Okay, so this should set, and then this will, you know, you'll have like, it's like a little writing pad there. You still have the beautiful image. You can see through that. Now I might have to trim a little bit. It's poking out a little bit. I personally, that doesn't bother me. But if it bothers you, then take out your shears and just give it a little bit of a trim. You can even rip it if you want something more less precise, I guess. All right. These are also a little bit in crease. So I'm also going to trim this as well. Okay. That's that. And so we do have space too, and I'm just going to grab, just for sake of our investigations, I'm just going to grab a couple of ephemera bits that I have laying about, you know. So we have the full use of our pocket in the front here. I'm just going to put a couple of things in there. And then there is a pocket back here that we made too, which I don't think I have anything quite big enough at this point to fit in there, but I will definitely make something to fit in there for the final look through. So we'll have something in here. And I could also, if I wanted to, like, I mean, I glued these papers on, but I could trim, you know, this piece down or fold it down or something like that so you can put another tag in there, and that tag will be what you see. But I'm gonna add fibers to the top of the tag that we add in here. So that'll be what hangs out and what you can use to pull out and insert back in. We also have a little stash spot over here as well. So just again, for show, I'm just gonna put that in there, and then that'll be again mounted to the page. And then we just tie it shut to keep it closed. And that's our project for this video. All right, simple little one page. You could say a little plus on the end there, but you know, this pocket here could remain brown paper bag. You could stencil over it, stamp over it like we did with some of our pages. So for example, this page, we did some stenciling around the edges. You can add some little text stamps and stuff like that to just decorate a little bit, maybe add a little cluster, or because we have a video on clusters too. Let's see, let me find our little sheet of clusters. You could add like a little cluster or something to it as well to decorate it. So there are ways that you could do it and just stick to the page. But I broke the rules because that's what I wanted to do for this particular project. All right. So I hope that this was fun for you. I hope you were following along and crafting along with me. Thank you for your time, beautiful energy. Share your thoughts down in the comment section below. If you are not signed up for my email list, do consider signing up for my email list. Every single week, I send out free digitals to my email list subscribers, as well as exclusive discounts to my Etsy shop, both digital and physical items. So go ahead and sign up. The link is in the description below. And yeah, I look forward to spending time with you in the future. Be well. Bye.